Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Andrew Yang and the 6 primary social media sites that will most likely decide his fate, right? And specifically the difference between these main social media sites, the differences between them, the reach they have, and how you can configure your profiles on these social media sites and your posts so that they give Andrew Yang the maximum benefit. All right, let's launch into it. All right, here we go. All right, so what are the main social media sites? There's 6 of them, okay? And I have a mnemonic for that: Pitfry, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, YouTube. These 6 social media sites are by far the most successful social media sites that exist today. There is an absolutely massive amount of traffic that flows through these platforms, and they control an absolutely massive amount of influence over everything, including the election, right? And when I say influence, I don't mean like Russian hackers and things like that. I'm talking, generally, almost the vast majority of people share information through these social media sites now, and people that they know who care about them care about their opinions and are swayed by their opinions. All right, so those are the 6 main. All right, I want to look at the differences between them. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at a single post, right, from a single person, right? Now, one of the things that I want to talk about is right now, Andrew Yang has to begin to shift from attracting smart people to attracting most people. Andrew Yang has owned the internet. He's done this by being an awesome, unique, wonderful, noble candidate, right? And smart people are attracted to Andrew Yang like honey, okay? But those days are done, all right? He's got all the smart people. Now we need the most people. We really need people who are really not politically engaged or politically interested, right? So today we're going to talk about a peach pie person, all right? We're going to talk about a person who really doesn't care about politics. They care about peach pie, okay? And they care deeply about making peach pies and sharing peach pies with people. And the peach pie that they make, it comes from a recipe that's been handed down from their ancestor to their ancestor to them, okay? So let's talk about peach pie person, okay? Now, peach pie person has multiple recipes for peach pie, right? Let's say they have 7, right? And their least favorite of these, they've decided, okay, I'm not going to keep this one secret anymore. I've decided to share this peach pie recipe with the world, right? And so they decide to post it on every single one of these 6 major sites, right? Or they say to their friend, hey, how do I share my recipe? And their friend says, here's the 6 major sites, share them on these 6, right? So they go on to share these, with the 6. And we'll say that they get a modicum of knowledge about how to post on these sites before they do the post, okay? All right, so here we go, all right? Peach pie person goes to post on Facebook. They put their peach pie recipe on Facebook. Friends of theirs come on and say, I made this peach pie. It was delicious. Thank you for sharing your recipe. Someone else says, oh, this peach pie recipe made me and my dog happy. And then somebody puts a selfie of them and their dog, and there's peach pie like on the table, right? And you're like, oh, that's cute, and it's a normal, interaction. Right? Now, just so you're aware, you know what? We'll talk about reach in a minute. I'll keep it moving. All right. So that's Facebook, right? Straightforward. You post your piece. You post. The peach pie person posts their peach pie recipe. Everything works great. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. Right? Twitter. They go onto Twitter. They post their peach pie recipe onto Twitter. Right? First thing that happens is somebody says, "Oh, I see that there's cream in this." It's peach pie. So I guess vegans are just don't count for anything, right? Next person posts, oh, I see that these are canned peaches. So you don't believe in going to your local farmer and shopping local or shopping small. Thanks for nothing, right? There you go. That's a Twitter interaction, right? Like, without a doubt, like that is going to be the way it rolls, all right? Okay, the person goes to Pinterest. They post their peach pie recipe on Pinterest. A picture goes up, right? And and then someone else comes on and says, I made this peach pie. It was wonderful. Now, I'm so thankful to you that you shared your peach pie recipe with me that I'm now going to share my peach pie recipe with you, right? And the person also says, I also noticed that, that in your peach pie recipe, one of the pictures showed a specific knife that you used to cut, right? Here's another knife or a different one that is more effective, that costs even a little less, right? Incredibly useful, incredibly engaging posts about the content, really encouraging, wonderful, okay? All right, that's Pinterest, right? That's the response the peach pie person's going to get on Pinterest. Okay? Reddit, all right? So, Reddit, oh boy. Person posts on Reddit, and they're like, and immediately what's going to happen is, thanks a lot for your peach pie post. I hope you didn't realize this is the general pie subreddit. There's an apricot, there's a peach pie subreddit just for peach pies. This is a waste of time here. Admin has deleted your post, right? Like, that is Reddit to a T, right? All right. So, let's do YouTube, all right? So the person decides to post their peach pie recipe on YouTube, right? First of all, they realize that when you go on YouTube, generally you show your face and you speak, and that YouTube is a hair's breadth away is really public speaking. So immediately they begin to hyperventilate, and once they're past that obstacle, then they realize they got to figure out their camera, and they got to figure out an upload, right? Is it too long? Is it just right? But they go ahead and they do it. It's out of frame, right? The mic is wrong, right? And they get this thing up there, but there were obstacles to getting it posted. But when it is posted, they get far more responses than any other website, right? And it's a complete mixed bag. Some are very negative, some are strange and confusing, and some of them are encouraging, right? All right. So what have we done so far? We've done Facebook, we've done Reddit, we've done YouTube, we've done Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, Twitter. There's got to be two more. So Pit Fry. We did Pinterest. All right. Instagram. Instagram's the last one, right? So they do their research, and the peach pie person realizes that the appropriate context-ready way to put their peach pie onto Instagram is not the recipe at all. It's literally just a picture of them holding the peach pie up to their face and making duck lips. Click, post, done. Heart, 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 heart. Virtually no comments in the comment section. It's just a bunch of hearts. All right. So I'll summarize that. All right. Facebook is the gold standard of social media. The more people are on Facebook than probably 2 or 3 of any of the others combined. Right. It is the gold standard it has. You know what? Yeah. So it's the gold standard. Right. YouTube is incredibly challenging. There's a lot of YouTube has massive reach, and you can get massive engagement with. Well, let's talk about reach in summary. Okay. Facebook has more reach than any site, bar none. Doesn't matter. Like, it has more reach than anything, okay? YouTube, as far as reach, is the second farthest. You know what? I'm sorry. That's wrong. Instagram is second farthest reach, okay? By the way, Facebook not only has the farthest reach, it is the most vanilla, most traditional social media site. It has defined all other social media sites. Instagram. All right, let's talk about Instagram. It's the number 2 reach. I think more people use Instagram than any of the other forum I'm about to mention. It's the site with the second reach. However, it is my opinion that Instagram is where the people who have the least to say go to say it. All right? Okay. So, but it does have a lot of reach. Okay. By the way, more young people are on Instagram than any other site. Period. All right. Next is YouTube. YouTube is third in reach, in the amount of people it can reach. A ton of people use YouTube, actually watch YouTube, okay? Not a ton of people create content on YouTube. It's growing, but there's, now, YouTube is the hardest to make content for by far, because essentially, guess what? You just open up your own television studio. It's pretty much that complex, right? You got to get your lighting right. You got to get your video equipment right. It is public speaking. You have to get your audio correct. It's hard, okay? So there's a lot of obstacles to engaging on YouTube. YouTube has massive reach, okay? And it is powerful, right? And so that is a fact. All right, what comes next would be Reddit, Pinterest, or Twitter. Next is Twitter, okay? Twitter is fourth in reach, okay? And by the way, we're going to talk about this one specifically. Twitter has more goodwill for political content than any other site. The political content fits on Twitter very, very naturally. And the reason why is Twitter is for writers or people who have writers' hearts, right? Cleverness is appreciated on Twitter, right? But you got to be a writer or have a writer's heart to really dig Twitter, okay? All right. Next is Reddit. It's the second to last as far as reach. I think less people on Reddit than anything else I just mentioned, right? Reddit is mean, organized Facebook, period. People who are, I'm not saying everybody who's on Reddit is mean, but if you are on Reddit, you are more likely you have a higher chance of being mean, you are mean adjacent, or you summer at the lake of mean, right? Like, people on Reddit are mean, more than any other site that we talked about, right? Like, and they're organized. They're both, right? They care about organization. They care about being right or wrong. It's its own special, weird, unique thing. And mean and organized are the pillars of Reddit, right? Okay. All right. So Reddit is mean, organized Facebook. All right. My opinion. Last is Pinterest. Pinterest has the least reach. It's one of the newest sites. Pinterest is a social media site for organizing images, right? You pin images on it. It's image-based, so it's similar to Instagram, okay? But it's really not for photos you did. It's more for images you found on the internet, right? People are visual, right? And I think a lot of people are dismissive of Pinterest. By the way, I am on every single one of these, right? Just to be clear, so I do know what I'm talking about. Yes, I have an account on every single one of these, right? And I think Pinterest is the most underrated, right? I think there's actually a lot of room to grow on Pinterest, and it's the most underrated of all of them. But it does have the least reach. All right, how do we use these to maximum benefit for Andrew Yang? Well, one, you've taken your first step. You now have a deeper understanding of all of these social media sites and how they're different from one another, right? And based on that, one of the things you should do is you should pick two. Pick two. You cannot interact on all these sites. It's too much. There's not enough time in a normal person's day to interact with more than two of these, right? So pick the two that you have some frequency with, right? That you enjoy using, right? And that you enjoy using, and you have some, and you actually have some skill with, right? So one, get rid of four. You don't have to get rid of your account, but stop posting on like four of them, right? You can't really interact on more than two of these, right? Because you want your interactions. Ideally, you should be posting daily, right? It doesn't have to be a big deal post, but you should post daily, right? You don't have to, and we're gonna get there, okay? So right now I'm giving advice that goes across to all of them. This is called spanning advice. This is advice that spans across all of them. Now this is really key, right? Now you're like, how can I do an Andrew Yang post every single day? You don't do an Andrew Yang post every single day. This is critical, okay? On any and all of these, you want to make your profile as public and clear as possible. Make it clear that it is you. That is, Sally Tally. Joe Propero, right? Whatever your name is, make it clear that it's you. Put a picture of you on there and a current picture, right? Like, this is really key. And I know a lot of people are not going to like hearing this, right? And by the way, there's a ton of people who hate social media, who use social media and think it's cool to put a picture of, 1990s friends or whatever car they like, and by the way, okay, if you do any of these things that I'm going to say is bad, I appreciate what you're doing on your social media site. I am trying to describe the optimum situation. This is how you get engagement with any of your social media accounts, right? And how you get people to care about what you say, right? And I'll tell you right now, if you got some wackadoo name that isn't your real name on there, right? And you have a picture that isn't you, nobody should care about what you're posting, right? People, and this is key, right? Say what you mean and stand by what you say, right? And if you're not putting your name on something, I could care less what you're saying, right? Like, this is absolutely critical, right? Now, that's not completely true. I give some cares to what people say, right? But I will take an absolute crap post that is misspelled and has completely bobbled its point, right? And I will rank, and if it says Sally Smith on it, I will rank that thing above a 3-paragraph perfectly gathered idea that has some weirdo name on it, like, Rainbow Kitten, right? Whatever it is, right? If I don't know who's making a post, I am not going to rank your content high, in my opinion, right? You're not going to sway me because you don't care enough to stand by what you're saying, right? Make it clear who you are when you post something on the internet. And the reason why is if you are not doing that, your post is going to matter last. It is not that it doesn't matter at all, but it matters last. I will always prioritize content from real people over, Rainbow Kitty, right? If you're hiding behind a fake name and a fake profile pic, I'm gonna put what you say absolutely last. Doesn't matter if I will put content that's wrong attached to a real name before something that's right attached to a fake name. This is critical, right? And a lot of people don't get this, right? There's tons and tons of Twitter accounts that have no real human name on them. You can't tell who's actually behind it, right? And they're posting a bunch of a bunch of Yang stuff. But what's it matter, right? Like, you have to wonder if it's a bot, right? If you go on to my Twitter, so my two, right, are Facebook and Twitter, right? And you can say whatever you want about my content, but I make it and I stand by it. And you can say whatever you want to me, right? Like, and that's the issue is, yesterday I put my Sunday sermon notes on there, right? And the day before that, I put up a post about a tabletop role-playing game I like. And the day before that, I put up an Andrew Yang post, right? And that's what I'm saying. Across all of these, right? Make it your real name. Make your content varied. You cannot be posting, so you should not be posting on a fake name with a fake profile pic, right? 2, you should not be posting, you should not, you could do it, right? But you're going to come in last. People should care the least about what you have to say because you don't care about what you have to say. You have some weird reason why you're like, I'm not going to stand up for what I just said. And it's just not a good idea. And there's still a bunch of people doing it, and I think it should go away, right? All right, so next, you have to vary your content. This is absolutely critical. Now that you are showing people who you are, right, you have to put pictures of yourself on your content, right, on every single one of these sites, right? And in addition to that, you need to have a genuine and real and varied material. I see people on Twitter is the worst for this. I see people on Twitter are like, I'm on here to support Andrew Yang. Well, beat it. Who cares, right? Like, just my take, right? If you're on here purely for political reasons, I got no interest in your content, none, right? I want to deal with real people who really support a real candidate, right? And that's just it. I want to see your dog. I want to see what tuna fish sandwich you ate 3 days ago. And then when I see you're a real person, right? You're not some horrible monster person, and there's a lot of them on the internet, right? Then I'm more than willing to hear your opinion about Yang. And your opinion about Yang is going to matter, right? Rainbow Kitty's content about Andrew Yang doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, or it matters last, right? I do think it gives some impact, but it's just so like only after people have actually interacted with real profiles, real people, right? And so that's another thing is your political postings should be no more than 1/3 of all your posts, okay? And that's another thing is if you're on there and you're constantly reposting, you're constantly, every single thing you put up there is some scree about politics, your stuff is going to get old real fast, right? Your content needs to be winsome, it needs to be genuine, it needs to be about you, right? And then you can salt in your Andrew Yang material, okay? All right, let's go through them each one. Facebook, we should absolutely be posting on Facebook. It's absolutely critical. Again, use all the rules I just talked. Make it real, make it varied, right? And here's another one. Make it winsome, right? And the other thing is realize which of these sites have goodwill for political content and make your posts accordingly, okay? Facebook does not have a ton. Facebook is not the most greetingful of political content. So most of your posts should not be political, right? Okay. Next, YouTube, right? I absolutely encourage doing YouTube. I encourage it, and I think it's really critical. And I think everybody who can do it should do it. But I will tell you right now, do not go into YouTube lightly. You better know what you're doing. I think a lot of people are afraid of doing YouTube, and they're right. YouTube is a tightrope. You better know what you're doing, and you'd better be very careful, right? So a lot of people are afraid of YouTube. They should be, right? But it's great. I absolutely think we should use it for Yang. Use it cautiously. Get better at it. Get good. It's not easy. Work on it. All right, that's my take. All right, Pinterest. There's a huge opportunity in Pinterest. I think spending time on Pinterest would be really useful for to gather people to Yang and people who are not already there. That is an untapped. That is a rich vein of potential Yang voters. I think it'd be a great idea to get people from Pinterest. Reddit. Only be on Reddit if you are mean and organized. Like that place is mean, organized Facebook, period. And if you're not mean and organized, don't even bother to go over there. Because honestly, they'll eat you alive. But if you're a scrapper and you're mean and organized, get over there and win us some Yang votes. Absolutely. I love it. I would love to see, and also Reddit has goodwill for political content. They do, right? Twitter. Twitter is where political content fits the most easily, and where the site itself has the most goodwill for politics. There, you could break the rule and you could go like 2/3 politics, right? Because Twitter has a huge capacity and a huge interest in politics, right? So, Pinterest, Instagram. Ooh, people aren't going to like this. I'm going to say it. Don't waste time on Instagram. And here's why. Young people ain't going to vote. Nobody wants to hear this. This is just my take. I invite your correction. Young people don't want to vote, right? You could make a song, you could make a poem, you can do anything you want to it. When you're telling somebody to vote, you're saying, listen, I want you to go engage with your local government, and I want you to fill out a form. And it ain't cool. And young people don't like things that aren't cool. And you can rally, you can do all your things you want. Young people don't vote at the macro level. They don't, right? And so I would much rather you spend time on any of the other social networks. And the reason why is I think to convert a single young voter takes about 50 hours. And converting an existing Trump voter takes about 10 hours. That's it. It's bad return on investment, right? And actually, the 5-to-1 might not be right. It might very well be 10-to-1, right? Young people don't vote, and I will tell you right now, I wouldn't waste a single minute on Instagram. I don't think, because in that you could post all you want. I just don't think it's going to convert into votes. That's my take on Insta. Okay, so we got Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter we talked about, Facebook we talked about, Reddit we talked about, and YouTube. Oh, and YouTube we talked about. All that's my opinion on the 6 major social media sites that very well are going to determine the fate of Andrew Yang, and what their differences are, what their reach is, and how you should use them to maximum benefit to benefit Andrew Yang. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion. Please let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you.